Hello and welcome to my first track analysis. What you can see on the screen right now is me preparing to drive around the Bahrain Circuit. Chosen Bahrain because that's the next track, and it is indeed the first track in this year's season. Like I say, the footage is me going around it as a time trial. I'm driving in Fernando Alonso's Aston Martin. Could have picked any car, chose his. And I may well choose each driver as the year goes on. There are 24 racers and 20 drivers, so I might as well. Anyway, so a few stats about the track first. It is 5,412 metres long, 5412 metres, which would be 5.412 kilometres. There's 6 left corners and 9 right hand corners. 3 DRS zones with 3 detection locations. The DRS zones themselves are actually coming up to the second one now on the screen, which you can just see. There we go. Hear a little beep. So yeah, 3 DRS detection zones. There's a DRS zone which runs down the first main straight after the start of the track. So you've got the pit straight. Then the first one after that, first proper one after that. That's a DRS zone. You've got the second zone which we just went through, and then the third zone is the home straight with a detection on the corner, well, 2 corners just before it. And finally, the lap record is 1:31.447 seconds, and that was set by Pedro de la Rosa in 2005. My time, as you're about to see, does not in any way get close to that. I'm a good second or so off, and well, let's see. Yes, I was 1.3 seconds off. 1.2 seconds off. So not ideal, but that's just the way it is sometimes, isn't it? Next up, you're going to see me do a few proper laps in a race. And as part of that, we will I'll talk about the corners themselves. Not that I'm necessarily going to be any good at it. This is, like I say, my first time doing this. I had a script. I decided I was just going to wing it instead. Might as well wing it, right? Might as well wing it, right? I do everything else. Chose on this particular... don't know why I was changing the sensor. I can't remember now. I recorded this last night. I'm recording the audio now. Chose to start as Lewis Hamilton just because I knew he'd be somewhere in the mid-upper grid. That tends to be where I end up in the stuff I've seen. So, this first straight from the start leads to this very tight corner. Tight right-hander. Little scraping there. It is a mad dash down there. Now, first place, pole position actually has the advantage because you want to be taking that ideally from a left-hand side, sweeping around, as you would have seen George Russell do in there, and as indeed you will see me do for many more tracks of a race. Like I say, pole position has the advantage. That's not always the case, but they are in the right, not the right, they're on the correct side of the track, coming up to the corner. Although naturally, and as I've demonstrated here at least, it is possible to take the position from the inside of the corner. It's going to be quite difficult to actually do that. I wouldn't recommend it in proper racing. The fact that this is a computer game means it's probably quite a bit easier for me than it would be for them. We know it's not an entirely realistic video game because Max Verstappen isn't in pole position. Not pole position, he's not front of the grid right now. I am instead, so it can't be that realistic, right? Yeah, I mean, you can see here my ability to take these corners is very lacking at times. But, you know, oh, yeah. I don't have a clue.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Okay, just 5 laps until the end.
Can't remember why I asked Mark to tell me stuff, but I did it anyway. So, yes, here we go. Here's the main straight. Like I say, you want to stay on the left-hand side, or they want to stay on the left-hand side if possible, so they can slow right down and take this nice and tight into the apex. That's turn 1. Turn 2 is a bit faster. It's a much shallower corner, and it lines you straight up for a very slight turn 3. This is the first DRS zone here, all the way down the straight, ends around about here for this sweep across the track. And I mean, it's basically almost a U-turn. We've got a bend to the right, left. Bit more of a sweep to the right, and then the first real major corner is this U-turn. Not the first real major corner, the next real major corner is this U-turn. We follow that with a slow left followed by a tight left. Now this is very slow, that final corner there, but it does lead into the second DRS zone, which is very helpful because normally you're all bunched up a bit at that point, and then because you've got the DRS from the corners before, when everyone's slowing down for them, you've got an advantage getting the DRS. I've sort of ignored the last couple of corners there, haven't I? But we are coming up to the only major straight on this. This is the only major straight on the track that doesn't have a DRS zone, but does have a DRS detection zone. And you will see that on the left-hand side. If you see the little green circles, there you go. That's where we are now. Nice and tight on there. Cut across the track, and then we're back on the home straight. Now DRS is going to open up. I'm not going to get to use it because I'm in first place, but DRS is opening up now. All right, Mark, calm down. I did just say it. Just say at the top. So yet again, stick to the left. Sweep in. I screwed that up a little bit. Nice and tight on the left, brings you out to the right hand side, and you're barely even turning at that point, really. I mean, I overdo it a little bit because that's just who I am, but it hasn't lost me the race, has it? Slow right down, nice and tight, screwed that up, didn't matter too much. It's all good. Slight bend to the left, tighter bend to the right, nothing too major. Bend to the left again, sort of snaking through there, really. And like I say, you've got this quite harsh U-turn, really. If you see it on the map, you can just see it's quite a harsh one. This does, though, lead to DRS detection zone 2. There we go. Nice and tight on the left-hand side there. Very good. You want to stick to the apex if you can. DRS zone 2 is right here. All the way down, right up until around about here. Tight, stick it to the left, cuts across the track, and then back into the corner again. It's one of a few times that you either see that in Formula 1. It's where you go into the corner and then back into the corner, which is interesting because it is one long corner rather than like two. It's just turn 11 into turn 12, which is for right-hander. So yet again, kind of ignore turns 12 and 13 there. I'm really good at this, aren't I? I'm making it up as I go along, you can tell, can't you? You know, a lot of, and this is something I've learned actually by looking at it properly rather than just doing it. I mean, I've learned from watching it. We've got to point out the DRS detection zones, by the way. You've got a speed trap here, DRS detection zone now. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Go round the corner. Come on. Nice and shallow. There we go. Oh yeah, this is DRS zone 1. Again. Take it around the corner. So what I've learned a lot from doing this is that they cut across the track a lot when they're doing this. They're not turning very sharply, and that's something that I'm not very good at. I tend to turn quite sharply, or try and take quite a sharp turn. I'm a very aggressive driver when it comes to this, especially when I've got to overtake people. Now you'll notice that Piastri is actually catching up with me a bit. You will, for lap 5, actually see some proper racing going on. So we just passed DRS detection zone 2 into DRS zone 2 now. Pardon me, sorry. Oof, got hiccups. I might cut that. I probably won't. End of DRS zone 2. Like I say, hit the apex on the corner. We're still on the same corner now, and we basically just hit the edge of the apex again. Hit the apex on the right, swoop across the track, hit the apex again, and there's a lot of hitting that apex having swept across the track. I wouldn't have. I mean, I'm one of those kind of people who thinks that you should drive down the middle of a road, right? DRS detection zone 3, not the middle of a normal road, just to be clear. Hit the apex, stick to the left hand side, and this is ideal really because everyone's going to be in this bit. You're well away from the pit lane, so you're not going to end up accidentally hitting something. But more importantly, it puts you in position for this next corner, and that's a lot of. Oh, there we go. He tried to overtake me with DRS. Now this, he actually has the inside line here, but that gives me the inside line there, and so I just managed to get ahead of him. No contact, all was well. At least I don't think there was contact. Happy days. Everyone's a happy chappy. And that's basically the last time there was any real racing in this game that we see in this clip. This has been appalling, hasn't it? Oh, maybe I won't do any more of these. We'll have to see. Point is, there's a lot of swooping across the track. I could just say, oh look, here's a right-hand turn, approximately 50 kilometers per hour, and all that nonsense. But I don't know, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure I care. Now, I love some of the technical side of this, right? I love it. I do love it. But I'm here to watch it. I'm here to enjoy it. And sometimes knowing too much ruins the magic. You know? Something's not magic anymore once you fully understand it. A card trick. If you dissect a card trick, it stops becoming magical and it starts becoming science, right? And whilst I understand Formula 1 is very definitely science, you know, aerodynamics and all that kind of stuff, you know, for me, there's still an element of magic to it. So I'm not going to dissect it too much. You know, I'm just going to enjoy it, and that is something that I do. I do enjoy it, and you know, for me, it is very much a sweep to the left, shallow on the right kind of thing, and hopefully for you it is too. And I doubt you'll learn much, but even if you do, even if you don't, I hope you watch this anyway, and hopefully you'll join me for the next one. Bye.